Hey, this is Neil Brennan. This weekend, I'm going to be in Baltimore, Maryland at the Comedy Factory, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. Then the 10th through 14th, I'll be in New York. I'll be at the Comedy Cellar and the Comic Strip every night. I'm also doing Hannibal's show at the Knitting Factory on Sunday, June 10th. And then Providence, Rhode Island, I'm coming this Friday, June 15th at the Spot Underground. Shit will sell out, son. Fuck with it.
Hi, it's Moshe Kasher. I'm off the road for about 5 months, but I will be at the Comedy Store in La Jolla over my birthday weekend, July 6th weekend. So come fuck with me there. Follow me at Moshe Kasher, moshekasher.com for all your Moshe Kasher-related stuff. Buy my book, y'all.
Hi, this is DJ Doug Pound. I'll be in Chicago, July 27th with Tim Heidecker and Neil Hamburger. Also in Madison and Milwaukee, the 28th and 29th of July.
And our guest today, Mr. Trevor Noah, where are you going to be?
Hi, my name is Trevor Noah.
Very good. Good job, man.
Great.
Per our conversation, I am confirmed for the following dates. June 14 to 17.
Proper-ass motherfucker.
Arlington Improv. That's the Arlington Improv in Texas. 6 shows, Thursday to Sunday. Must arrive Wednesday for Thursday morning press.
They don't need to know the whole contract, man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's fuck with some champs.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
Ninja. Yo, Landy Fisser.
Jack Sparrow.
Fucking with the champs.
DJ Doug Pound and
That's some real South African grimy gangster shit, man.
Do you guys play this normally, or
No, that was for you,
I was
dude.
like, where on earth did you find Jack Sparrow, and why? I was watching.
I'll tell you where on earth we found it.
That was very interesting.
South Africa.
That was,
Doug knew that you were. I told him you were South African at 6,
and so you
7,
chose
and
Jack Sparrow.
I've never heard of Jack.
Well, that was Diane Word with special guests featuring Jack Sparrow.
I see. Okay.
Oh, we've jumped the gun once again. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is a South African monolith, a bigger force in South Africa than the aliens in District 9. He has now made his American debut and is taking over here as well. It's Trevor Noah.
You do great. Yes, Trevor Noah.
Comedian Trevor Noah.
Yes, Trevor Noah. Here's a clip.
What happened was there was a funeral on the weekend, and what happened was there was a lightning storm, and lightning struck the people at the funeral, and 9 people were killed instantly. There's nothing funny about that. 9 people dead, gone. Nothing funny at all. Although it must have been a bit weird because, like, you know, you're there because someone has died, and then it's a bit awkward now. You don't know if you carry on here or do you. You don't, but it's a bit, you don't know. And then you're like, do you put them in? Because you know there's going to be like one uncle who's like, no, there's space, put him. I must buy another box. Just.
You're a big comedian in South Africa, right?
I'm the second biggest comedian.
Who's the first?
In South Africa.
You can say that, really? You can just say that.
I don't know. I just like saying that because then it's random, isn't it?
But is it real?
I don't know. I mean, I'm confident in my second spot.
But are you? But you're very popular. You did movies and shit.
I have, yes. I've done a few films, and I've got my specials that have done well, and #1 selling DVDs in the country ever.
Who is
stand-up? So.
Who's the number one stand-up in South Africa?
I don't know.
It's you, motherfucker. Come on, dude, with your false humility.
No, you don't know who number one, because we don't race against each other, so you never get a chance to say, I won. So you have to go,
really?
Like, who's number
one selling DVD guy?
Yeah, but that's just selling
that's
DVDs.
Just a number.
That doesn't mean
you
you're number
weren't
one.
trying to.
No, but
you were number one. You won the DVD race.
Name another
DVD
comedian
race.
from South Africa.
Different.
Winnie
Just
Mandela.
name anyone.
Winnie Mandela's funny as fuck.
She's
funny.
Her first Def
Nelson
Jam was
Mandela was
fantastic.
funny. Nelson Mandela was very
For real?
funny.
Nelson
for
Mandela's
real,
a funny guy?
Like, he's got
He's
some
still
of the
alive,
funniest,
though, right?
Yes, but he's old. He's senile now. But that guy was funny. He
was actually
some
funny.
of my favorite lines of his when he, for instance, when they put his face on the currency, but it was the Kruger Rand. They had the special edition Nelson Mandela, and they asked him in the press conference. They said, "Mr. Mandela, how do you feel about having your own money?" And he said, "That's how you know you've made it, when you have your own money. No more socializing with poor people for me." And then no one laughs because they don't know he's funny. He has jokes, but he was very funny, man. I think that's the only way you survive 27 years in jail is with jokes.
So
or you rape everybody, or you're in charge of the block. You don't have to. That's the only way. You got to be funny.
I think to
or
Trevor's
you have
credit,
to join the
he
fucking
meant
Arab or the fucking white.
the Arab.
I like how you
resistance.
just painted Mandela
The Aryan-
as like Adebisi from
Exactly,
Oz.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Aryan
he's
Brotherhood.
African. They're both African. It made a
of
lot
course.
of
I
sense.
mean, yeah. This,
No, I think what he means is, out of you spend 27 years in jail and then come out a Nobel Peace Prize,
Yes,
motherfucker.
yes.
But I heard some crazy shit about Nelson Mandela recently. It wasn't on the Champs, was it? This
Go.
story. This is some crazy shit. I was talking to a dude who will remain nameless, but who is a filmmaker, and he got way high up in. He was making a documentary with, I think it was MSNBC or one of these big muckety. And because of all of this, the documentary they were making, these dudes from the high ups in CIA ops came to be interviewed, and they were telling him stories of like some of the craziest shit they'd seen. And one of the things that they told him was about Nelson Mandela. When Nelson Mandela was being, and maybe you already know that, maybe this is common knowledge in South Africa, I don't know, or maybe I'm straight up breaking some government secret shit.
that would be amazing.
But it was a lot of it was theater. He'd been in prison for a long time. They knew he was going to get out of prison and become the leader of the country, or at least they knew he was going to become the leader of the civil rights movement.
Yes.
And so they brought him out of prison long before the public knew.
Yeah. But I mean,
and started to train him, because you couldn't just go from being in prison to be like, oh, now I'm a world leader. And also they were like, by the way, your woman has been fucking cheating on you, embezzling all your money. So they brought him out, put him in a room, trained him to get back into the world, and then put him back
prisony.
to act unprisony, and then put him back in prison for like a day, and we're like, we're releasing him.
Right.
It's just
So we
crazy.
didn't like start just punching.
Well,
people
basically,
willy-nilly?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, what they did was, look, lots of people don't actually know that, but what they did was they put him in. He was under house. They made a house, and it was a prison, and he had guards, but they fed him well, and because they were basically like, if we're going to choose, because there were many black guys that were poised to be the next president, but he was he was the friendliest choice. He was the least likely.
The dude in prison.
He
for
was the
27
least
years.
likely
sure there
to
were
kill
other-
every
all the-
single
all-
white
yeah, the-
person.
Right, fair
Yes.
enough. Right.
Well, that's Rose. Do you know about Rosa Parks?
No, tell me.
She sat in the front of the bus a week before, and and nothing happened. And then, like, they planned it for a more public day,
Right.
And that's so. There's always, and the March on Washington is called the Farce on Washington,
Right, so it's like there's theater to
amongst,
even the most sincere moments in history.
Yes.
There's theater to that too.
Yes. Look, guys. There's a lot of the world is fake.
That Rodney King painting was choreographed. We both went to combat school.
Yeah, that's right. Rodney King was actually an
He
LAPD operative.
he did stage combat.
Yeah, stage
I think he
combat.
actually still is one of the top earning stunt.
Where do we begin with you?
What do you
because I've spent time with you. I've spent time with your lovely girlfriend.
Thank
you. German, and when I say German with a capital G, Moshe,
With a capital K.
You are wicked!
I mean blonde,
Yeah.
fucking German.
Do you take it out on her?
Do I take what out on
Oh,
You know
and
the
we
whole
should know that
situation.
you're mixed. Your father's German and your mother.
Be nice to her.
My father's Swiss German, and my mother's Xhosa, South African. So
One more time.
black.
Say that
yeah,
again.
that is black.
Say that
Did
again.
you do a click clack in there?
Hold on,
Did
man.
I do a click clack?
Oh,
something
Trevor,
about
just
black
so you know, this is what the whole podcast is going to be
That's
like.
funny. Did you do a click clack?
I heard
I
it.
was like, I thought
I
it was.
heard it.
I thought
Yeah.
I was
No,
going to have to.
toss
I
on.
thought we
Xhosa,
I thought
that's
we were
the-
having audio issues.
No, that's
Okay.
not. It's not a click in your.
Tell you something about black folk.
Yeah, it's a click. Xhosa.
And you got to say that every time.
Well, he
Well,
says it
you can't.
naturally.
How do you say it without? Oh no, you have to say Neil. Do I have to pronounce the N every time?
Good ass point.
it's the same thing.
Tosa?
It's the same thing.
If you
Xhosa.
said-
Yeah,
That's how it's
what-
pronounced, though.
It's not
me-
like it's not like I prepare myself to make the click sound. I don't. Oh, here we go.
Right.
Xhosa. No, it's just
right.
it's
You're
the
like,
word.
fuck it,
It's
I
like-
don't feel like
No,
saying the click.
It's like if I
Just
say
go Tosa.
if I say L'chaim, I don't say L'chaim because there's white people
That's
around.
exactly
I know
L'chaim.
lots of people say L'chaim.
But that's wrong. They mispronounce the
Well,
word.
It's
They
mispronunciation.
still got
That's
beat
true.
up for being Jewish. So how wrong was it?
Wrong.
All right. All right. So you were born in South Africa to a black mama
Yes, I was.
and a white father.
Yes, this is
in
correct.
what year?
It was
1984.
1980.
1984.
Yes.
So this was still during. Did
Sorry.
you just?
No, I'm sorry. I
We use the
apologize.
same numbers.
Well,
Yes,
really,
really. Don't do us any favors.
As a
If you
Jew,
wanna
I
throw a
think you'd
click
be more
in there-
sensitive. Thank you, Moshe.
If you want to
Thank
throw
you.
a click in, fucking be my guest. Go ahead.
In 1984, question: was there
was-
weird tension about interracial dating at that point?
It was. What my parents did was illegal. They didn't
Wow.
give. They literally didn't give a damn. They were just like my mom. I ask her about this all the time. I go, why? And she was like, well, I loved the fact that I wasn't allowed to do it. So there were underground clubs where black and white people would mix. And then my mom was like, I'm rolling with a white man. I don't care if I go to jail. She was literally like, I don't care.
Shit, does she have cornrows?
No, she didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, does she have, like-
real black people don't have cornrows? Like,
But I have a real question, though. I'm making jokes.
Real
but
white girls on vacation, dude. Go ahead.
But question: in South Africa, are there? You know how in America there's there's white people that act black and want to be black.
Yes.
But is that a thing?
Are
in
there
South
white people
Africa?
that make click noises?
You know what's funny is every white person that acts black all over the world acts American black.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
just act
Yeah.
black. It's not just random black. It's not African
It's not
black.
just that.
It's not French black. It's no. You act American
But there's
black.
a lot of African black people that act like American black people.
Yes,
that
because but you must
Tell you
remember,
something about black
aspirational.
folk.
It's aspirational though.
it's hip hop actually.
Yeah, because because American black people influence the world more than anyone else in terms of a pop culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
The music, the style of dress.
By the way,
language.
our intern just waved. You're a fucking intern on a white podcast. Fuck outta here. He took credit for it. Like, here I am.
Yeah, you know how
influencing
we do.
culture over here. Dressed like
This is
fucking,
how we do
dressed like
it.
fucking Drake. A Canadian
I'm
black
asleep with your
guy.
daddy.
Working on a white podcast. Was it actually illegal, or was it like...
It was. I was born as a crime. It was illegal.
is it like
I
weed
wasn't-
illegal, or is it like a fucking...
No.
you're gonna
It was
serve
like
time?
you would. Luckily, my mom, because I think they were more lenient to women. My mom would pay fines. She'd spend maybe a weekend in jail if they were caught. So for instance,
Baby fines.
Well, it was a lots of money back then.
Mixed baby fines.
You were literally born a criminal.
I was born a crime rather than
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Well, it sounds better
I was
to-
the victim. No.
It's more
I didn't
racist
commit
if
the
you're
crime.
born a criminal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't commit the crime.
Sounds
Doug, so I
harder
couldn't
if
be
you're
the
born-
criminal.
Okay.
I couldn't be born. I am the source. Anyway, so the
You are the source.
Don't hate the player, right?
so
Hate the source.
So yeah, so they would hang out, and like my mom she rented an apartment next door to my dad, and then
Wow.
but then he would act like he owned both of them, and she was his maid,
Your life was theater too.
which was
She would act like his maid and not just on some freaky
because when the
deaky type
police
shit.
because when the police would come, then you'd have to go. Why?
You'd
is
be
there-"
like, clean this up.
They'd be like, "Why is there
How
the
many-
black woman next door?" And you'd go, "Oh no, that's also my apartment. She's just cleaning."
And they'd be like, "That's your white German maid."
kidding me.
No, she's black.
Oh, your mom's black.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Tossa, remember this? We had this whole discussion.
I'm
5
sorry.
minutes ago.
Yeah, I got twisted up. So your dad is white. Okay,
Yes,
all
yes.
right.
She loved white guys, and then he.
That's a hard thing to pull off, by
What?
the way. The white guy getting a black girl is a hard maneuver.
You think so?
A black dude getting a white girl is way easier.
No, that I don't agree with that
Wait,
at
the
all.
white guy getting the black girl is a hard maneuver. You mean like in the streets today?
Yeah, just right today. It's harder as a white guy to get a black girlfriend than it is for a black guy to get a white girlfriend.
Oh, I think that's true. Yeah. Although I think it's easier now than it was when
Okay,
I was
It
a
is
kid.
okay, not
easier.
where I'm from. Not where I'm from. No,
Interesting.
No.
Take us through that. Because, the typical thing will be like, a black girl will be like, I'm not fucking with this white motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking
little
white
nerd,
boy
square,
ass
square,
motherfucker.
little nerdy.
Whereas black dude is like ripped, giant hog of a
Okay,
cock.
but then when you have a legacy of racism behind you, you must remember we're still a young democracy. So back home, I mean, you don't.
Yeah,
have,
you guys don't have a legacy of racism behind you. You're just a young democracy.
No, we have
God
the
knows
legacy.
South
but
Africa doesn't have an African. Yeah, what am I talking about?
Okay.
But in terms of you look at how in American media the portrayal of black people is they're very cool. They just, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like now when you see Barack Obama, they always talk about his swag. They've never
Yeah.
said swag about any of your other presidents. Bill Clinton,
a
I
little
believe.
bit.
No, but they say that now. They go, oh, he's swag, just like Bill Clinton had swag. But they never said swag when Bill Clinton was president.
Right.
That was not used. No one said that. They were just like this
They didn't
guy.
use- well, no one
In
used
fact,
the
they
word.
said he was black. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And then now with Obama, now they go, okay, Clinton was swag. It wasn't black. It was swag.
But yeah, that's just, we're just talking about semantics.
So, yeah, but still, but that's my point.
But I don't.
Who
but,
started
but we're not
swag?
talking about. We're not talking about. We're not. I'm talking about black dudes have swag. Black girls don't have swag.
What?
Black
Oh.
girls don't have swag.
Oh, I
mean,
get what he's
generally,
saying.
that's why it goes back to that thing of like it's harder. Why is it easier? How are black women at a premium more than black dudes in South Africa?
Oh, I don't know about a premium. That's a difficult. Let me put it this way: if you're a black girl and you have a white guy, then it's not as much of an achievement as when you're a black guy with a white girl.
That's fair.
Then the black guys are like, "Whoa, really? You got a white girl? Wow!" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas when a white guy has the black girl, then it's just like, well, I mean, you can choose as you have for many generations, and you have chosen
I
thus.
get what I
You have
want.
chosen thus,
Right.
and therefore
Did your mother have white features?
white features.
White physical features.
She was black, so what do you mean?
but
What do you mean?
What I mean is, there are black.
I don't understand
thing
what
that's
you
ever been
mean.
said.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
There are black women that quote unquote have white. Halle Berry has white features.
I do not know what you're talking about.
I know,
Neil.
you're
I
scared.
see.
I'm not
see.
scared.
Okay.
I
okay.
disagree.
I
A
will
more
explain.
classic.
No,
I see
you
what
can
you
disagree.
mean.
It's true. Look up white feet. It's a thing. Blackwell, am I wrong about this?
Oh, now the black guy's involved. Now,
Yeah, you have white features. Exactly. You have white nose, white lip. They're like white features.
I don't think Halle Berry has white features.
she does. I can see what
does.
Neil is saying. She doesn't have.
She has-
She doesn't have white.
She has narrow nose and
no, it's not white features. It's really closer because I mean, at the end of the day, that's why. It's how you look at what's attractive, what's considered attractive all over the
beauty
world.
standards,
Yes, so then we go. It's closer to the standard of a white. You know what I mean?
right. White feet.
Whereas like a lot of Russian people will have like bigger noses, or like when you go to that area of the world.
Black Russians.
Well, I mean,
Especially.
right? Because I mean, I'm a Jew, and I straight up am. I think maybe genetically pre-programmed. I think big noses are.
Did you say genetically as a joke?
genetic? No, that was
okay.
like my way of saying it.
I thought you.
He'll slip it in when he can.
But I
thinking.
I find big noses hot. I think they're hot. I'm into them.
I
You
like
mean,
big
okay, when you say
noses.
big noses, do you mean the arch of the nose itself, or do you mean the width of the nose? What do you mean by I like big noses?
Jew nose arch. I guess.
Oh, so you like Jews then?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you Jewish. Isn't
Yeah.
that normal?
Well, no, I mean in the same way that some people like to date outside.
No, but you dating inside, so that's normal then.
I guess it's just big noses.
It's like dogs. It's like dogs liking dogs.
It's not
It's
big,
like you
it's
know
not
what
like
white
dogs.
features is
Okay,
like?
it's not like dogs, Trevor.
It is.
Hey, you know what white features
Birds
is
of a
like? Can I
feather.
put it in your parlance? It's like a shiksa.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
It's like
So
a
it's like a
what?
black.
Wanna explain
a
yourself?
Shiksa is like a very white Aryan looking.
You're gonna think that I'm saying this to try to sound enlightened, but I'm not. I have literally never looked at a black girl and thought, "Oh, she's got white." She
I
seems
never had
white
either.
looking.
I heard it from black people. I heard the term white features from black people. Like I
Let me
wasn't
just zoom
like,
down.
I like, you know why I like her? White. Her nose makes me comfortable. I feel
Well, I mean,
at
look,
home.
if you look at it in Hollywood and stuff, generally the women
Dorothy
who
Dandridge
make
can
it
have white features.
The,
yeah.
the black women who make it further and will be in the mainstream movies are the black women with more white features. I can
Are
see
there
what
white
you're
people
saying.
with black features?
Yeah,
Yes,
for
they
sure.
And
yes,
can I have an
they are.
example of one?
They are. They're very few and far between, but they are. They don't become famous because if you're white with black features,
They are stuntmen.
You just lost in life. That's like harsh.
Wait,
I'm trying to think. A white person with black features. There are some. Russell Crowe? Something about Russell Crowe? No.
Well, have you ever met a person that is maybe this won't resonate with you as a South African, but for an American white dude that wants to be black so hard that eventually he starts to kind of be black.
I completely agree with you.
It's very interesting.
They grow. It's white dudes that hang out with black dudes, and I always pride myself for never letting this happen. And the Beastie Boys too, and Eminem never lets this happen.
Right.
They grow the chin strap beard.
Right.
And their faces start to look.
It's very
You
odd.
guys are saying it.
Dominican. I'm not.
Yeah.
We both came
It's
to this
true.
independently.
MC Search would be an example of a person like that.
Yes. Serge always looked a little Jewish, but he's not. He's a good example. There's a guy named Pete Rosenberg who's a DJ who and it's like dogs or people becoming.
It's not like
listeners
dogs.
Yeah.
It is not like
It's a
dogs.
cat-
Can we just
You don't compare black people to dogs.
So Chinese people, in many ways, are like dogs. Let me just start up with that.
No, it's like animals. Owners looking like their dogs.
We have white people problems.
Whoa, okay,
That's
whoa,
what we
whoa,
have.
What do you mean owners looking? So you're saying the
Black
white guy
people are
looks
the
like the
owner.
black people?
Black
is
people are
the
the owner.
dog?
Oh, okay.
So
So I
white
was just
people are
like
the
white
dog.
people looking like they're
No,
okay.
I would
okay.
never. Not
If you
want to
get racist about it,
I'm just.
You're born a
I'm
crime.
just asking.
So Jacob Siroff, the comedian Jacob Siroff, anybody know him? Friend of mine. He's got a brother. They were both super into hip hop and super wanted to be black their whole childhood.
And now they're black.
Well, one day Jacob's brother came home. They're twins, and he goes, "Hey man, somebody said I look mixed today." Like he was bragging.
to me, you seem like a dude who knows what's up.
That's fucking hilarious.
That is the perfect human being, isn't it, though? I mean, you have all the privileges of a white person, but then you have the swag of a black man. That
Right.
is that not the ultimate goal? Is that not what you want to strive to achieve?
The question really becomes when a white dude becomes that black, and it usually connects to being like ghetto. It's not just being black. It's not like you're a black African American studies professor.
Yes,
you're like
yes.
a gangster.
Okay,
is what you're
okay,
trying to be.
yes.
Do you still have the privilege?
you
of
still
being
have the
ghetto?
privilege.
Yeah,
because
you have
because
the,
the police.
what Paul Mooney calls the complexion for the protection.
Right, but I'm saying if that dude walks into a liquor store with sagging ass pants, a big ass gold
They
medallion,
will, if he walks in at the same
You know
time
what?
as a well-dressed black man, they will still
they'll
look at the black man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Stay
Neil.
ghetto.
No,
They
you're
will,
right.
Neil.
I think
Unless
he's
they've
right.
been robbed by the white guy before, or a white guy that looks similar to him.
If I'm wearing an overly hip hoppy outfit, and I don't really anymore, but if I'm wearing like a big like fur lined jacket in New York and I hail a cab,
Yes.
I will not get cabs.
But they don't see you. They see the fur on
Right,
the jacket.
they
They
see
see
the
the
damn
black.
outline.
They see the black clothes.
they
That's
see
what I'm
the
saying.
black features.
Maybe
Yes.
they're into PETA, you know?
Maybe, yeah.
The cab drivers are into that.
But have you ever tried rolling up your sleeves on the jacket and then putting your white
I've
arm
done the
out?
thing. I've done
Right,
more
or
than
just pull the hoodie back. Hey, it's me,
Dozens-
guys. I'm one of you.
Dozens of times I've hailed cabs. I've been with black people and hailed a cab and tell them to hide,
Yeah.
and then they like come sneaking up. Then we all go to Brooklyn and rob this motherfucker. No,
Wow.
What are you, the
that's
Schindler
true.
of cabs?
Yeah, basically.
Schindler's
I'm
cab.
a cab catcher.
So you were born a crime, and at what point did that message start to become resonant to you? Did you ever feel like in the midst of that racism?
You know what's
fully?
the great thing for me is I grew up black. Now because my mother and
too.
I basically had to move to the townships in South Africa. Everything was broken down to the finest degree of your race. So like it wasn't just black. It was what tribe are you from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So even for me, when I walk around in America, I go, oh yeah, that's a black guy, but then he would be from that tribe, and he'd probably be from that tribe, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you had to choose. So I could have gone to, I don't know, extended light-skinned family if I could have found some, which I didn't. But I had to go with my mom. So I had to downgrade according to the government and go live in the black, in the townships, which was Soweto at the time.
Where's your dad at?
Well, he still stayed in the city. He was white.
But
so,
you didn't stay with him.
No, I couldn't.
Oh,
because
you
he was
were a
white.
crime.
Yes,
Right.
Because I
And
was.
he kept saying like, that's
That's
one
my
of the
maid.
maids.
He's also my maid. This little
He's
baby
in
is
the
my
maid.
maid.
That's basically
That's
what
baby
happened.
maid.
Is when I got bigger, then it was like,
Maid
okay,
baby.
this thing doesn't work anymore because who is this child? In fact, on my birth certificate, they couldn't even write who my father was because then there'd be shit. People would go to jail.
That's so fucking
So my
crazy.
father, they just wrote some dude from Swaziland. That's how they justified the light skinnedness because they were
Right.
like, yeah, there's light skinned people in Swaziland. We'll let you.
I'd like to see that long form
And
birth
then-
certificate. Check that out.
So you moved to where did you say? Soweto?
Soweto, yeah.
Soweto. Yeah.
Soweto. The Southwestern Township. That's actually what it stands for.
Mm-hmm.
that
And
was
the
where
biggest-
most of the unrest was. Correct.
That's what it was the biggest. It
So
was,
it's,
it
literally
was the
literally
place.
a ghetto. Literally
Yes,
an actual
yes.
ghetto.
But
Yes.
ghettos there are fucking ghetto.
But I don't mean
City
ghetto.
Of God.
I don't mean ghetto like bad neighborhood. I mean it's both bad. It's an actual ghetto, like
Yes,
the
it is. It's
original.
an actual
It's
ghetto.
a, it's
Yes,
a township. It's
Stay ghettos.
designated
like for
poor
instance,
people.
my toilet was outside. You had to walk to the toilet. So at night you'd pee into a bucket, and then if you needed to take a shit, you had to walk outside to go and do what you had to do. There was
How
no-
many shits were you taking a week, and how many would you have taken if you had?
I would have taken
toilet
way
in
more
your
shits
house?
had I had an indoor toilet because that was. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
you
when
must have held in.
Yeah, when I first
countless
started,
shits.
I mean, the worst. Have you ever been to a long drop? Have you ever used one?
What's
A long
Oh,
drop.
sure.
I like
an
the sound
outhouse?
of that.
Outhouse.
Where there's no flushing. There's
Yeah,
no
outhouse.
yes. And then it's basically a race against the flies, which is it's not a
Right.
great way to shit. I think I would
wait,
have had.
so they're 8 feet down, the bottom of the
might
Depends
be a
how
bit,
long
no, we
your
have
drop
it
is.
a bit deeper than that, but we try and
How
and
deep?
Then, I don't know. I never
You didn't
measured
jump
it.
in, right?
I didn't.
So the flies were down there.
Let me
so
ask
the
you-
idea
And then basically
was,
you-
I've got to shit and run
Let me ask you
before
this.
they come up.
Did your outhouse have white features?
I've
It
never
did actually.
heard of such a thing.
No, it's funny you say that because you know what that was the next level of your. Like I remember my grandmother's house on my cousin's side was like was a horror. It was just a slab of concrete that you sat on, and then my gran on my mom's side, she was a bit more affluent, so she had the white toilet seats on the
slab of
so you
concrete.
felt like you were sitting on a toilet. It had that,
She'd bring you some tea.
Yeah, and you'd be like, oh yeah, this is this is nice. And then we got the flushing ones, but still they were outdoors, and everyone had to share. This is 5-6 people. And
why didn't your dad move you guys out of South Africa? Was that not an option?
my mom just never wanted to leave. My mom, I asked her this all the time. I was like, if I had my choice, I would have gone to Switzerland. I mean, that's a great place.
Sure.
Well, it's a very nice. And she was like, no. She wanted to stay and rough it out, I guess. I don't know.
Were you guys super poor, or was just the way the neighborhood was?
Everyone was poor.
Yeah.
So super poor is relative. Because if everyone's poor, then you're not poor.
Right.
So we all lived in the same. Like my grandmother had a 2-roomed house, and there were let me think. It was grandmother, grandfather, great grandmother, and it was about 9 of us living there. So there was the living room / kitchen / bedroom for the kids, and then there was the bedroom for the adults, and then everyone slept there, and then
Where'd you get the pussy? I mean, if you needed to get some pussy, where'd you do that at? In the outhouse?
Generally you did it outside. Like if you'd play house.
Oh yeah,
and you'd
play
go
on
outside, and then you'd go, and then you'd go to you just like the bushes or whatever. But
bush.
then
I love
very
sex.
young. I was young, so I wasn't getting pussy at this time.
Oh, you weren't?
So, and then and my gran was scared to let me go in the streets because she was worried about me because I wasn't black. So she was like,
So you could get beat up by the black kids,
no,
too?
I wouldn't.
No,
She
you
just
wouldn't.
thought that would happen.
Oh, so was that true? Was there racism coming from the other side?
No, with black people, that's why white people can be black and hang out with black people, because then they just like, because black people don't understand why anyone would want to be black. So if you do, then we're not going to hit you. It's like, well, okay, you've made your decision. You've chosen it, so you have it.
You've made your choice, fool.
Yes. If you get what I'm saying, if you decided to be black, black people wouldn't really alienate you once they get to know you. They'd just be like, oh yeah, that's Moshe. That's
He comes to the neighborhood. And,
that's the dude. That's what he does.
right. And there are people like that.
And then the new black guys that meet you would be like, who's that white boy?
Sure.
And then it would be like, no, he's Moshe. He's one of us.
And then it would take like 15 minutes to explain that he wanted to hang out with black people. It's like, yeah, but why would he want to hang out with us? It's such a shitty.
But is that a thing? Is that a cultural thing? Like there would be white people that would come around and be like,
not then. Foreigners did, though. It was like a tourist thing. Lots of foreigners would. I meet lots of Americans here, and they go, well, I came out to South Africa out in the 80s. I enjoyed Soweto. It was great.
I'm sure that it's because
they have that. It was a very.
It probably made them feel less racist about American racism.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is racist. Well, we've got it all
I
worked
went
out.
to Soweto. I checked out of racism when I went to that neighborhood.
Yeah, we've got it all. They should come to Memphis. Did you? But there's a lot of there's a lot of weird not weird words, but like colored.
Yes.
And black
So, for instance, I am referred to as colored in my country. That's what you had to fill out on the boxes when we still had the boxes, when you had to tick a box. So I would have to choose colored.
Which means?
Which is the skin color. So a skin color. So Blake Griffin, they would say is colored. Let me put it like that. Drake, they would say is colored.
Right.
Alicia Keys, they'd probably say colored.
But LeBron James is what?
Black.
And
like black.
Okay.
And then you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Barack Obama, depending on like his sun exposure on that, then because he could go either way. He's a darker shade of mix.
Just
but
arbitrary nonsense.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
And what did it was just a distinction. It didn't mean anything.
It meant everything. It meant what jobs you could get, where you could go, who you could. Like in prison, let me put it this way: white people wore long pants in prison. So if you're a white man in jail, first of all, they'd be like, "Why are you here? There's no need for you." But then if you were, they'd give you long pants. And then if you were colored or Indian, then you could also wear like longer clothes. But then black guys had to wear shorts. They were like, "You guys don't need long pants."
And
That's too
super
much
black
cloth.
guys had to wear Speedos,
And then they
correct?
gave you different food as well. They gave you
No.
in prison, yeah. You had different portions of food and different. So white people had bread and stuff, and the black people had to eat what was what you guys have like grits out here. We call it pap. So it was different portions.
Do me a favor, throw a click in there for me.
It doesn't have a click.
I don't just
man.
throw clicks.
Throw a click in.
Just throw clicks.
I'll
in
give you
random.
$1. Throw a click in.
Oh
pop.
yeah, we had pap. Like
Yeah. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
there's a.
That was Doug with an apple sentiment.
It meant everything. It literally. Think of
I
it like
don't
this. So white people were at the epicenter, and then you had colored and Indian people just outside them. This is where you're allowed to live in the areas. So you have white people in the city, and then in the suburbs surrounding the city, and then you have Indian and colored people surrounding them, and then you have black people on the outside. So it was like the barrier. And what they would do is they would tell Indian and colored people that they were better than black people. So
Right.
they go,
Divide
you
and
guys,
conquer.
if you guys work hard, you might just be white in a few years' time. That was like the, like if you're on the track, You've been doing really well lately, Moshe. We've noticed your hard work, and there might be an opening coming up in white. So, and you laugh at this, but
white
then
people are dropping like
but
flies.
then no, these guys were crazy. You don't understand. So then you had colored people, which really had been oppressed. They were the children of slaves because they were, from the white settlers that had babies with the Africans, and that's a race that evolved. But now they started hating black people because they believed they were better than black people.
Right.
And then black people believed they were also better than other black people because they broke it down. So it was just
was that by complexion also?
no.
Or just
This
tribe?
was tribe. This was all
Got it.
tribe, and they broke it down, and it was just the craziest thing ever.
Well,
And
that's
then-
classic colonialism. They would go into a place, they would make false separations between people, and then they would pit them against each other and say,
that's
"You
exactly
guys are the
what they
ruling
did.
class."
Yes, and that's exactly what they did. So,
Okay. What I've never
White people don't trust black people.
I don't understand about you is how you grew up in that, and you're not only are you not bitter, you're what I would call sunny as fuck. You're unbelievably sunny.
Surprise, motherfucker.
You have unbelievably good self-esteem.
because you have two choices. Like
He's the number one comedian. Number two.
That is true.
So-
It's
No,
not like he's
no,
some
no.
janitor in
No,
Soweto
no.
still like, fuck, I'm
but-
such
no,
a
but I
sunny
believe you've
dude.
been like
But it's not that. It's not that. You just look. One was my mom. I never knew. I honestly, growing up, I did not know that I wasn't black. I honestly didn't know this. I hung out with the kids, and I mean, first of all, in your neighborhood, you grow up together. So when you really babies, no one's going goo goo gaga. Why are you black or why aren't you black? You just grow up together. They just know you're lighter than they are. That's it. And you just know your family. I'm just like, well, I know my dad's got light skin and my mom's got. I didn't even know that there was black and white, you know. And then when I went to school, that was the first time. Because then what happened is around 1990. Obviously, 1990 apartheid ended. So they said, okay, no more. This is wrong. We're really sorry.
Our bad.
Yeah. You guys just do what you do, and then you guys can run it. And then we're like, can we have our land back? And they were like, no, but we're sorry. And then you didn't even give us casinos like you guys do with the Indians.
Give it time.
So then
They're coming. It took the Indians like 120 years to get them. But
yeah. So then what happened is they started these programs where they'd get black kids to go into the white schools. And I was lucky enough to go into a school where it was like, this is a decent school with books and chairs, which was it was like, wow.
Reminds me of a theory a friend of mine has.
So and so I went to that. Then it was like, now the white kids would go, oh, wow, you speak really well for a non-white guy. And then I was like, yes, because we've had the same English teacher for 5 years, you ass.
Right.
And then
And then he'd go like, he called me an ass. This colored boy called me an ass.
And then they put you in
and then the black guys, it would be like the
him
first week
can
in
kiss
school.
my ass.
The black guys in school would go, where you from? What do you? And then I'd speak to them in Zulu or Tswana or because I could speak a lot of the languages. And then guys would just be like, oh, we thought you were colored. And I'm like, well, I guess technically. And they're like, no, you're not. You can speak it. You're
black.
You're a black guy. Yeah.
Right.
So by the time you got to school, age 6, apartheid's basically over, but the system is in place.
I mean, it's in terms of this the system. It's still in effect. The law has been abolished.
It's just like when
Do
they
you know what I mean?
outlawed
So
slavery.
it's basically the same thing. I go, okay, it's over now, and then but then what?
But all
you don't
the
have money,
systems are
you
the
don't have
same, yeah.
education, you don't have anything. So nothing's going to change overnight. You have nothing. You have literally nothing.
Well-
So then you have to try and and then I would say it. I remember the change came in the late 90s. This is when it was now there was a lot of turmoil early on, like 94, before our first elections, real elections where everyone could vote and stuff.
After Mandela.
Yeah, now it was like, because white people left, they ran, they went.
They're
went
like,
to
oh,
Australia,
okay, we should get out of here.
Where they literally took off.
They took off. They sold everything. They cashed out. They were.
Do you know the percentage?
No, I don't. But let me put it this way: in Australia, for instance, there's over 1 million South Africans. In the space of 20 years, this wasn't an organic growth. They were gone.
There was some violence and shit, though, right?
But it was funny enough. It was amongst black people. It
Oh,
wasn't.
because what was the stuff with the farms?
It wasn't. Oh, that's recently. That's that's more recent. That's just like farm killings and But that's just killings. It's not really. Sometimes people like to make it a race thing. They go, "Oh, this is a black and white thing." No, it's just a guy killing a guy thing. He just happened to be black and he happened to be white. It's not always. Sometimes it's just a crime. It doesn't always have to be racially motivated.
I don't say how.
At what point did the ship come?
What ship?
The one that hovered above District 9 with the prawns. When did that?
Were you there for that?
You know what's funny is District 9 is basically based on our history. It's
for sure.
Wait,
yeah.
that's a metaphor? If you're telling me that District 9 is a metaphor, I swear to God, I'm going to take a swing at you, and it's going to be racially motivated.
Oh. So the ship was Nelson Mandela. That's what happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's Nelson Mandela was the ship, and he came in, and the ANC and they came in, and they were like, okay, we just need to get the right parts, and then we're gonna get out of this shit, and then they did.
How did you feel as I'm really tempted to be like, as a colored man, because I can never say that in any other context on earth. No, but how did you feel as a person of color? That sounds better. When you started to become aware of the changes that were taking place, because you're stuck in the middle. I mean, and I keep wondering about your dad. Did you not hate your dad in some way? Like,
no,
your dad being fancy, living in this nice place.
Yeah, but then it's not like he didn't. He afforded me those same luxuries when I came to his abode. He did not say to me, that's the black couch, boy. He was just like, this is your house.
Well,
but you had to use that long drop. Why couldn't he hook you up with a short drop?
When I went to his house later on in life, then I was using the toilets. That was the ablution facilities.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe beyond even just being allowed to use the white man toilet.
But why couldn't he hook you up wherever you were staying at?
Hook me up how, Doug?
Financially?
That's one thing he taught my mom, and she credits him till this day. My dad taught her how to be just financially independent, and my mom owns her own company now, and she self-studied and everything because of that.
So you felt zero resentment towards your dad for being on the other side of the tracks.
I was glad I had a dad. What do you mean? I grew up with all my friends. Most of my friends didn't know their dads, didn't live with their I was like, I'm the privileged dude. I have a dad. I was like, they were like, I don't know where my dad is. I was like, I know where he is. I can't go there, but I know where he is. I was like, and then when I got to school,
he'll wave his handkerchief from his balcony at me sometimes if I go to the gate.
Go there, I have to be dressed in a janitor's outfit,
in a French maid, a short skirt French maid with a little duster,
and I have a dust mop and a broom.
And then so I mean that was great. So even white kids at school, they go, "Oh, that's my dad, Trevor. What is your?" And I'll go, I also have one of those in the same color.
I have a white dad.
I have the exact same model as you, my friend. You'll be shocked to find.
So did you start to? How did that feel for you internally when you started to see the changes happening? Were you thinking, "Holy shit, everything is going to change," or you didn't really?
I was really glad to be part of the generation that, because we were on the cusp.
Yeah.
I spent like the formative years of my life during apartheid. I got to see the change. I got to see democracy and all of that. And then now I get to see the country. Whereas some people grew up and lived their lives in apartheid, and they still have that hatred, both black and white.
Both ways, right?
Yeah,
totally.
Even Indian people and colored people, so-called. There's just so much hatred.
Right.
And then you get kids that are born now who are totally oblivious, and they just like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. The only beef I know is between Drake and like Common. I don't know who's Nelson Mandela. What's the deal?
That got down to South Africa. The Drake Common thing.
So.
Whenever our people fight, Neil, we take notice.
The drums. You heard the drums? That's how they communicate. They communicate beef via drums. This guy speaks Zulu and Swazi. Even saying that, I sound like a racist Italian guy.
Well, just saying Swazi sounds
This guy, he's from Swaziland. That's an actual place. All right, so when did you start doing stand-up?
I started stand-up 6 years ago. I did everything before that. My mom never pressured me.
What does that mean, rapped?
No. I mean, I worked in an arcade. I had odd jobs. I was a taxi driver at one point.
You are a racist sometimes.
No. I did everything before that.
What do you mean, rap?
No, I thought
you made fried chicken?
Everything.
You made drums?
No.
Come on.
Everything in show business. Like I tried rapping.
No. I tried like normal. For instance, I saved up money and I bought shares in a taxi and I became a taxi driver. But like what you call taxis in this country is we have minibuses that drive a whole bunch of people around on a certain route, like a bus driver. Yeah, I was a bus driver, but we call them taxis.
And you own the bus?
Yeah,
I own shares in the bus. It's a people mover. Do you know what those things are?
Yeah, they have them in Israel.
They have them in every third world country. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people that jumps into one vehicle that has no seatbelts or anything.
Right.
It's a tin can with an engine, and then you drive.
It's kind of a taxi, but you pay a fare instead of paying an amount.
Yes, but it stops everywhere. It's not like there's no bus stop. You hail the taxi just like you guys do.
Was that a nightmare? to do that?
To be parts of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's run by gangs basically. So that's why I'm saying the other shares in my taxi were owned by like one of the gangsters that I had to basically go, would you let me drive a taxi? Then he said, well, you have to give me shares. And I was like, of course I would. And I gave,
You had to just buy protection.
You have
from
to
them?
buy everything. Yes. You have to become part of the association.
Talk about that for 2 minutes.
So if you want a taxi, you have to be part of the association. To get into the association, you have to bribe somebody. So you bribe somebody, and then you become a member of the association. Now you have to get what they call a spot in the line. You get them? So you have to be in. There's a certain number of taxis allowed to be driving on any given route at any given time. So in order for you to get that number, you have to now pay money to somebody else. Most of the time you'd buy it from a widower who had killed her husband, who had many taxi spots, and now she was selling off the spots, making the money because her husband's now dead because she probably killed him.
Why would you make that kind of accusation?
Because it was known. These things are known in the township. When you kill someone, people knew
Neil,
about it.
these things are known in the township.
You knew.
These bus drivers are driving like flies. No one was like, hey, I think their wives are fucking
No,
killing
because
them.
taxi violence in South Africa was, like you watch the City of God and all of those?
Yeah.
That's how taxi violence was. It was literally guys out of their windows with AK-47s shooting people.
How much money were you making?
You could make a good amount. I'd say if you did really well, maybe $150 US a day.
$150, and people are shooting over that.
Yeah, because then if you have $150, and I know guys that own 300 taxis, you do the math.
I'll do the math.
How much time do you have?
It's
All right, that's
approximately.
Can we take a break?
If 150,
we don't have commercials.
Okay, if a ferry leaves Johannesburg
I was
traveling
never
60
good
kilometers,
with math. I knew.
The bottom line is these guys were really rich, and it was tax free, and it was off the radar. It was just a crazy organization.
What is this?
Do the math.
All right, great. You were late.
P-A-S.
All right. No, he's late. All right, so
He's late.
when did you? That's Doug.
He's late.
That's not a drop, ladies and gentlemen. That's just
That's
Doug
Doug doing
lashing
me.
out.
He's late.
He's late. You were late.
Edit it out.
So
So you want me to do my impression of you?
oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry you're here for this, Trevor. Yeah.
All right. Why did you start doing stand-up?
I went to a room with friends. We didn't have clubs. I think the first club opened 3 years ago. We never had comedy clubs. So there was a room.
That's amazing. They didn't have stand-up. Most
countries.
Well, stand-up was illegal. It was like if you went up and
everything
then
was illegal.
and then you made jokes about the government, they would come and arrest you. And if you were black, you couldn't even be in the establishment to make those jokes in the first place. So you were arrested on the way to the club.
You know, South Africa sounds like a really great place to grow up.
It is now. Yeah, it's amazing.
Is it really?
No, but it is. It really is a great place because there's nothing better than being in a place that has growth and when you see change. You know, I travel and in America you guys are very disillusioned and you just things are so bad here, and I'm like, no, they're not. Like I watch your shows and they're like, this family who's bankrupt and da 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 da, and they don't even have this in their house. I'm like, they have a house, and then
You were. It's
right.
Weren't you on Extreme Makeover Outhouse Edition?
Long drop edition.
No, but my point is, I got to see the change, and you get to. It's a tumultuous process, but you get to be part of that.
I agree with you.
It's amazing.
All right, so you started 6 years ago. When did you get famous in South Africa?
Well, hold on. Let's.
Yeah.
Let's. I feel like we're jumping ahead. There was no stand-up infrastructure.
Yes. So
You're
I
a
went
taxi
to. I just
driver.
went to.
You're like about to kill somebody's husband.
Did you have
or
a gun
something.
during that period?
No, but my partner did. He had to buy
It's
one.
pronounced partner.
Throw a click in there.
So you're in this kind of semi-gray industry.
Yes.
It's not quite above ground. And
in fact, it was just a side story. It was illegal at the time to operate these. Not when I was doing it. When they started out, taxis were illegal in the country. So
everything was illegal in South Africa.
No, so listen. So what they would do is, because basically the white government, these guys believed that black people had no ability to run themselves. They would make, like when the British government would come and go, why are you doing this to the black people? I remember one speech I watched where one of the guys, I don't know if it was for Voet, one of the guys who started apartheid, he said you must understand the black cannot run his life. The black does not understand economics, and the black, if we were not here, these savages would kill each other. and we are really the only reason they are still alive. So we are doing them a great favor. And this is what they believe.
No wonder they all left when they stopped apartheid. They're like, we fucked up.
You know where
We
lots
get
of
outta here
you know
right
where
now.
you know where I met a lot of them in Orange County.
Yeah.
I've met a ton of them. And then they come and talk to me like the country hasn't changed. So they basically greet me like I escaped. So they'll come to like a show in Irvine and they'll be like, "Hey, Trevor, man, it's wonderful to see. We watch your stuff on YouTube. We love it. Hey, it's great out here, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's great home." No, but I mean, home is terrible.
Go ahead and run. I'll try to catch you.
Terrible. It's
Just go
terrible.
ahead. That's
and then
fucking awful.
And
And
you
they're
just
like, we love your comedy so much. And like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. Not that way, boy. No, you're going to have to go out back.
So then you start doing stand-up.
yes.
Well, my question still remains: how did you go from this sort of gray market industry to how did you even decide to do stand up if there wasn't an infrastructure?
It was. I always believe you born as a stand up. It's naturally what you. I developed my stand up came from my circumstances. I was always the odd one out. I didn't fit in. I was I was too light to be black and I was too dark to be white. So it was always, why are you like that? Why are you like that? Why are you like that? You know. So then comedy became my out. You make people laugh. They no longer question who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is. And my mom is a very funny person. My father is,
he seemed like that from afar. Anyway, he seemed very. Funny.
No, he's very funny. He's very dry
from
though.
across
Very
town.
dry. But my mom is, and my
He
grandfather.
would send carrier pigeons with jokes.
And my grandfather
This is a good note.
like my grandfather would get out of going to jail just by telling the police jokes. So if there was if police would bust him for being in the city too late at night, instead of arresting, he would tell them jokes and they'd let him go. And so my grandfather was very funny as well. And I always had that. So when I got into stand-up, it was just literally, I got on stage one night. It was an open mic thing.
There was a comedy
room.
open mic.
Yeah, it was a room.
Gotcha.
It was horrible. And my cousin got drunk and told the comedian that he was horrible. And he said, "My cousin's funnier than you guys." Male bravado ensued. And then they said, "Well, why doesn't your cousin get on stage if he's so funny?" And then I got...
You're Roseanne Barr.
Did that happen to Roseanne?
That's how Roseanne started, too.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember what your first joke was?
No, I don't even know what that first said. I basically just spoke to my friends.
Just did crowd work?
I didn't... No, I told jokes.
Because you were high on
but
cat
to
food
my
at
friends.
the time, right? You'd been eating that District 9 cat food. You can't even remember what was happening.
Cat food is just food. It's labeled
What is
in,
that
a, in a cat tin.
Is that hatred? Is cat food a metaphor for regular food?
Just by the way,
Who
no,
are
it's
the
just...
All right, so how much time did you do?
I had 10 minutes maybe.
And how did you do?
well?
Yeah, it was amazing. I felt at home. I had never felt more at home than when I just was like, that was normal for me.
You're like, this feels almost as home as
and then
Long
the
Drop.
comedians that were there, I'll never forget it. They cornered me backstage, and they thought I was from another city, and I'd planned like this elaborate.
Right.
They thought it was theater. Once again,
Yeah, right.
They were like, you planned this. You came here as an open mic guy, and you just wanted to upstage us. You asshole. Where you really from? And what's the? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
and
is
then,
like the ultimate ego boost for the comic. First set, people are like, all right,
You're like,
you're
right,
a fucking
seriously.
clearly a professional, putting on a South African accent. You're an American stand-up who's been touring for a decade.
You're Eddie Murphy, aren't you? You're Eddie Murphy doing a
Trevor
character.
Noah is Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy.
is.
oh man.
All right, so you
your
did
first-
good.
Great.
Yes.
And
And
then
then,
what?
I was hungry for it. I was addicted. It was a hit of crack, and I just kept going back. And I was like, I need to go.
Who's racist
to
now?
find.
Look, I didn't bring up
to
crack.
find
This guy did the blood of the color.
You know,
guy.
no, but you know it's funny. You say that, but crack back home is not that. If you did crack in South Africa, you were really well off. You couldn't afford crack in South Africa. That was just ridiculous.
Black don't crack.
What do poor people do, drug-wise?
Well, they couldn't afford drugs. Drugs wasn't a big thing back in the day. Now it's growing. Now you've got these drugs coming up, but drugs was you got drunk. It was as
So you
simple as
got
that.
drunk, okay.
You had homemade beer and you got drunk.
Stay in college.
That was it.
Off the crack.
I've never heard that drop before.
All right, and then how soon after that did you just stand it?
So then I
regularly? Every night?
No, I wish we don't have every night comedy. We have once a week comedy.
Still you don't?
Yes, still. You have once a week, twice a week comedy if you're very lucky. Then a room will pop up and then disappear. And then, so I just wherever I could find comedy, I would do it. Wherever somebody would say we're going to be at a restaurant, there will be a microphone. We're going to tell jokes. I'd say, please, may I join you?
How come you didn't just figure out a way to try to open your own thing?
You can't. We don't have that culture
It's
back
illegal.
home. No, we just don't. We don't have that culture. We don't. Stand up is so
or just
young
go
in the
to a
country.
fucking restaurant and go, look, can I after 10? Can I?
But that's what people started doing. That's what I'm saying. But I was so new in this thing. I didn't. I mean, there had been guys who'd been doing it for a few years before me. So
they were nowhere near as good as you.
They were They were great. They were doing their thing. They were. They were basically
Tell that to the DVD sales.
They were. They were basically the martyrs. And they didn't release DVDs.
Oh, they killed them too?
They didn't.
Oh no.
I bet
terrible.
they'd be happy to hear that you refer to them as the martyrs. Like, the martyrs, the ones who died before
They
me.
who came before us.
Who died so that I could thrive and come to America.
Yeah. So and then I just did it. Then it became
How much better are you now than you were then?
Oh, I hope much better. I was a hack horrible. I mean, even now when I see gags from a year ago, I'm like, damn, I was a hack a year ago.
Just you calling them gags alone
then-
bothers me.
I still like to think of them as gags. I like.
Is that a thing though? Do they say that in South Africa? Gags?
It depends. Everyone has different things. I mean,
That sounds
what
like
do you
something-
call them? What
No,
do you
it just
call
sounds like something that a terrible audience member tells you after a show. I saw your gag. It was really.
Oh, that's funny because back home they say skit or your.
Skit.
Or your
My
yes,
mom
they
says
go,
that skit.
and what is your skit going to be
Yeah.
about? That's what they ask
Call
us.
you
So they
skit.
go, yes, or they go, your thing was very funny. Your talk. That's what we also get.
Well,
Your talk was hilarious, by the way.
We were saying this weekend that there's certain. Speaking of black people, there's certain compliments that black guys will give you after a show or during a show that you have to know what they mean in order to know that they're compliments. So if a black dude goes, "You're stupid," that's a high compliment. You think, "Thank you very much, thank you."
My favorite is
"You're stupid," or a black dude come up to you and go, "You was pretty good." And usually, if it's a white person saying that, you're like, "Fuck you, I was pretty good."
Yeah.
If it's a black dude saying it, you're like, "Thanks, man."
Black is
'Cause
like hugging. Like that means he wants to manage you.
yeah, he was
If
pretty
he says
good.
you were pretty good.
He was pretty good.
I like. You did your thing.
Yeah, you did your
You
thing.
did your thing.
Black women will go, "You funny."
Yeah.
Like, I saw you funny.
You saw-
I like that. Those are my favorites.
This white boy crazy. That's what I like.
I like when people say, "Oh yeah, I saw you up there."
Yeah, dude. People, I hate that.
Oh, I
hate-
saw you up there. You look great up there.
Oh, I saw your spot.
I think the worst is
Yeah?
when
I read your book.
When they
Yeah?
say to the
Anything
guy,
else?
they say to the guy next to you, they go, "Man, that was the best thing I've ever. That was the funniest, the funniest, best ever. Oh, and you were great too."
Yeah. Well, that's why when I'm on the road and I have my opener if I bring somebody, I tell them stand right next to me at the end of the show because I want them to compliment you. I don't want any of this. You should have been the headliner because I know I used to open for other people
That's
and hear
funny.
people say it to me.
Yeah,
so I have
that's-
them.
yeah.
I stand them right next to me so we
they
can
can't give you that.
So
so
they
they-
can't do that
so-
horrible shit and I'll overhear it if they're standing far enough. Yeah, if they're standing far enough away,
Headliner.
I'm like, no, you preferred them.
Here's
That's
a
a different
secret.
thing.
You were actually my favorite.
Yeah, and also there's the other thing.
Like, I'm
that
right here,
happens
bitch.
every fucking
every show.
Yes.
every show.
Yes.
And also you want to go. Well, being in the middle is easier. That's A.
And
Yes.
people have preferences.
Yeah, and you're gonna
You do great
naturally
stand-up.
Like, you're gonna naturally like one person's sense of humor better than another. That's
Yeah.
fine.
We're being a little defensive. I'll admit that.
So when did you start becoming? When did it start popping for you?
It's so gradual. You don't. There's no.
It's not
there's
that
no.
gradual.
It's not
You've
that
only been
gradual.
doing it
It's
6
fucking
years.
4 years.
I'm sorry, 6. You must remember, you guys have 6 years is long in America because you have a huge. I mean, your population is. In South Africa, we have 10% of our population is actually a buying. So we have 4 million people that can actually afford something in the country. They can afford to buy a ticket to something or
And
to
only-
have
it's-
pay
and-
TV or do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's such a small market.
So it's a city.
Basically,
Especially an American city.
Yeah. So basically, becoming big.
So you're
in South
basically like a
Africa-
fucking morning zoo DJ.
Yes, yeah, you could, but it's true. But becoming big in a smaller place is not. That's why I don't like to think of it. It wasn't. It's in terms of the time. It's relative to how big the place is.
So
I mean, that's
do you
why.
even consider that? You just see that's like a notch on your belt, and now you'll try to.
No. I mean, I love the fact that back home, like my fans are everything. They've literally given me everything. They give me the confidence to come out here because I go, okay, well, even if people look at me and go, oh, the monkey boy is trying to tell jokes in America.
That's just
which-
racism.
Again,
No,
that's
I've
monkey
heard
boy
things
talk.
like that out here. So I mean, because
Monkey
people.
boy smoke crack.
Because when you come out here, what do people expect? They expect you to be like I know when I got on stage, especially when I do lots of the urban shows. Just say black. I don't know why you guys say urban. It's a black show. Like when they
Because
say
we
that-
are not as bold as South Africans
Yeah, it's-
when we
it's-
talk about race.
I call
we
black shows though.
No,
It is
but
a-
I'm just saying, they're straight up going black neighborhood, colored neighborhood, white
Yeah,
neighborhood.
they're
We're like,
pretty direct.
Yeah, but
about
it was yeah, but urban anyway. Because I don't understand that. Because then they're like, oh, there's a great urban development coming up, but then there's only white people there, and then I didn't understand. So the point is, then I'd go to those shows, And guys, I remember one intro I got was a jazz club, and they had.
This is in South Africa.
No, this is in America. It was in Hollywood somewhere, and they were singing. No, they were singing. They were singing before the show. There was like a live band, like the Roots, and then people from the audience. It was like karaoke, but the best singers I've ever heard. I mean, just like dead on Michael Jackson.
Right.
There was no fun. It wasn't fun karaoke. It was, this is talent.
Yeah.
Yes, this is, I'm waiting to be discovered. And then the comedy started. And then I remember I'm sitting backstage, and I just bought myself a pair of Crocs, which are very comfortable.
You trying to be white
so,
or what?
No, they're comfortable.
That's
just,
the white side of you buying
and by the way, not those ugly ones with the holes in them.
Oh, the cool Crocs?
No,
I
bought the ones with
Sorry about that.
You know what?
Yeah,
Calm
the
yourself
cool,
down.
awesome Crocs.
Calm yourself down. Calm yourself
Air
down.
Force Crocs?
Cut to the chase. You get the shit beat out of you in the story, I hope.
You get gay bashed?
Emotionally. Yes,
horrible
emotionally.
happening in this story?
Yes, they beat me emotionally. That's what they did. So anyway, I
Only a man from another country would say, no, not the ugly Crocs, the other Crocs.
So then the guy says, I'm sitting backstage, and he looks, he waits, and then he points at another comedian in the backstage. He's like, "Hey, yo, you the dude from Africa?" And the guy's like, "Nah, man, I'm from Compton."
Dark
it was a
dude?
black guy, yeah.
Oh, God.
And then he goes, "Yo, they got a dude from Africa out here, right?" And I said, "Yes, I'm the guy from Africa." He's like, "Oh shit, they got light skinned cats over there." He's like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know, man." And he sits there, and then he looks at, and then he's like, "Yo, so y'all do comedy out there, man? Y'all got that? Yo, that shit must be hard, man. That shit must be hard, right?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Yo, man, because y'all got to tell monkey jokes and shit, right?" And no, but he wasn't being funny. He was really trying to learn. The guy, bless his soul, he was really trying to learn.
And he was going to South Africa the next day, and he'd written 20 minutes of monkey jokes.
Trust me. And the guy was just, and then he looks at my Crocs, and then he's like, "Yo, those some African shoes, man. You got those things because they've got the holes in them and they brown." And I can see what he thought.
Yeah, I can see what he thought, too. Nobody in America would wear some bullshit like that.
Exactly. So I go on stage, and when I come on, my intro was, "Hey, yo, check it out. Yo, this next dude coming to the stage, y'all got to show him some love, man. We got this cat from the motherland out here. Yeah, that's right, y'all. He came all the way from the motherland. He be doing it out here for real. Y'all better show him some love. Make some noise for our brother all the way. Yeah, he's an OG. Give it up for Trevor Noah."
They had to give you Trevor.
I was like, no, it's Trevor Noah. It doesn't change because I'm from Africa. It doesn't. But a lot of people did that. Even at the comedy store, the person bringing me up was like, "Oh, Trevor." So anyway,
they're giving you an American.
So I
black
go on
name,
stage.
too.
I'd go on stage, and then I just tell jokes that are jokes, and then the crowd just looked at me. No, they just looked at me.
Where's this motherfucking monkey joke?
And then I got off stage, and then it was they clapped. But it was very, okay, And then the guy came up to me, and he's like, yo, man, man, that was some shit, man. I mean,
no monkeys though, for real.
Like, and I think the guy who said it best was Tony Rock. He came on after me at a show called Chocolate Sundays. And he came on after me. The crowd was dead silent. I told all the jokes, and they were just quiet. It was just a speech. It was a foreign exchange speech. Right. And I got off stage, and then Tony Rock said, "Yeah, I know what y'all motherfuckers are thinking. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yo, they got light skins like that out there?" He's like, "Shit, that motherfucker sound more proper than we do, man. Here's English and shit." Man, I couldn't laugh at that shit. I was just listening. And it was just... And he came and he told me afterwards, he's like, "I'm sorry." He was like, we were just like, okay, where's this guy from? And why is he making jokes about the KKK? And you know what I mean? It was just...
You just fucked their minds up.
Yeah, so it didn't...
You also probably fucked their minds up with all those punchlines, man. You gotta talk about what to do next time you go.
You gotta act. You gotta fuck the stool.
That's racist.
That is
racist.
At least you didn't get booed off or swept off by the Sandman.
That's by the what?
Are you doing about Sandman?
No.
You know Showtime at the Apollo?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you are on the amateur hour and they boo you off, then a kind of clown character called the Sandman comes out and sweeps you off stage.
Oh.
So that's bad.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
so
it's
it doesn't
your mom.
mean you didn't do bad.
Your mother dresses up with a broom,
and she joins in.
And your dad goes like, "My maid is here. I don't know this one, but that's my maid."
Oh, with the callback.
She's the Sandman. Can you walk
right.
down the street in South Africa without being recognized?
It depends on the street.
Yeah, like where? What city? In a big city?
No, look, I've done a few TV shows back home. Like I've had my own.
I've done a few TV shows too, and
No,
I
but he
do
had
not
his own
ever
show.
get.
You've had, like, your own show?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and then so I've done those, and I've done a few ad campaigns, and
So you're a celebrity in South Africa.
I guess
You're
so.
like a Kardashian.
Unfortunately, no, not. I wish. No, I wish, but no.
And what are you gonna? How long? Or do you have a visa to stay here for a long ass time?
I do. I'm here for about 3 years. So, but I go back and forth. I mean, like now, in July I'll be in Ireland at a comedy festival. In August
Which one?
I'll be in
Kilkenny?
Edinburgh.
Cat laughs.
I think Kilkenny probably.
Yeah.
And then like August I'll be in Edinburgh. That's
Yeah.
always wants to go there. And then September, October back in South Africa. Just
that
I
festival.
go wherever. No, I'll be touring. Like,
okay.
So
Do you
South
do that festival?
South Africa, Namibia. I used to all the time.
But you don't do. You're too big for it, or something?
No. I've just haven't been around
I'm
for
not
a while.
talking shit. I
No,
literally
I'm
was
being
asking.
for real. I haven't been
Festival?
around for a while.
There's one
Cape
in
Town
Cape
Comedy
Town,
Festival.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it used to be the biggest in the Southern
Trevor's
Hemisphere.
going to get us all on that.
Hey, can we give you a tape? We're gonna slip a tape in your bag.
Is your girl South African?
No,
Was she American?
no.
Where'd you find her?
Germany.
Oh, in Germany you found
Yes.
her. Oh, interesting.
He was saying Germany was really nice.
Germany's amazing. That's the
It's a
problem.
really cool
As a
place.
Jew going to Germany, you go with this like these motherfuckers, man.
And then they're really nice.
and they're so nice,
And they're
fuckable
very
and sweet
apologetic.
and
They just
awesome.
like-
well, they don't apologize to you as a Jew.
No, but
don't
they
go-
but
they
they're
don't go
very
like,
but they're
oh,
very
sorry about the Holocaust.
the shame on the nation is so like, for instance,
Yeah.
that's the one thing we never had in South Africa that I almost hated was the fact that like our white people really got let off. There was no guilt trip at all. There was no, you know what I mean? They just like,
Yeah.
well, that was crazy. Whereas in Germany they just very like
They still feel bad.
yeah,
about
they
it.
go, man, I'm really sorry. Like, for instance, black people don't die in their horror movies. Like, black people aren't the first. For real, black people do not die first in their horror movies.
in German horror movies.
Yes, because it's just, they can't kill the black guy
Because
first
they don't
every
make
Wait,
time.
what did they do to black people? They didn't do anything to black people.
No, but still, they don't want anything. They don't want anything
Oh,
to
yeah.
do with anything.
No, no.
Anyway.
You should, if you only could have seen Trevor's hand when he was telling this German story. There's a full sea guile in the middle of it.
It wasn't full. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah,
It was.
half.
It was a
It's
semi.
half. It's
It was a
half.
semi.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So
So okay, so you have this German girlfriend, and you found her in Germany and brought her here. She's in the States now.
no, I didn't bring her here.
Oh, she's still in Germany.
I travel the world. I've had
captured
I've
her.
had girlfriends from many different places. It's like,
Hey.
it's just
Hey, look,
when
we're all
you
pretty
travel.
metropolitan guys.
No, when you travel, you're lucky enough to like. That's the thing. I've never gone. I only like white features, or I only have. You know what I mean?
Are you doing
I've-
an impression of me?
No, I didn't.
I only like
Because that's not how you
I'm
speak.
Neil.
Hi. He was late.
So, that I feel sorry for people who cannot see the difference between, like, I've met many white people in America or even anywhere in the world who can't see a good-looking black person at all. They cannot.
Right.
They like. I remember once I was with this girl in South Africa and she was colored. And we lying in bed and she turns to me and she goes, "Hey, I was watching your show the other day and you had this model that was on and she was really beautiful." I said, "Oh yeah, she is. Her name's Joelle Kayembe." I was like, "Yeah, she's really beautiful." She goes, "Yeah, and I don't normally find black people good looking." I said, "You mean you've never seen a good looking black person to this point in your life?" She said, No. I don't think black people can be good looking. That's why I was shocked that girl was. And I said, what do you mean? You can't say an entire race
this
is
girl's
not good
mixed.
looking. Yes. Fuck. And then she said, "No, black people cannot be good looking." I said, "But what do you mean?" And she said, "Well, because
I'm retarded.
they smell like onions." and so I said,
Smelling or looking?
and I said, "No." She said, "They smell
This
like
girl
onions."
sounds bright. Let me
And
just
so
say
I said,
that.
"No, but you know what? Funny enough, Moshe, she wasn't dumb. She really wasn't. She like in a normal conversation, she could hold her own. And then all of a sudden, you going, wait, where's this?" And she said, "They smell
all
like
of a sudden,
onions."
a black person would show up, and her eyes would tear up.
It's
And
that
she
they all
said-
have to walk away.
And I said, could it not be possible that the few black people you have encountered may have had a general odor of onions because of one person in their vicinity? And she said, "No, every black person I've ever smelled smells like onions."
And you're like, where are you from? She's like, Onion Town.
and I said,
Lil Onionville.
Why I'm from Onion Town? Why do you ask?
and it was just like, she just, and she couldn't even see how racist, she just couldn't.
So, what do you got coming up next? Anything exciting you want to talk about, or do you?
Exciting as in personal, or
Career-wise, you're here in the States. Things are.
You're on the
things are
Tonight
going
Show a
well?
lot, right?
Oh, I pop there now and again. I don't know if a lot is I just want
Pop
to.
in
I just
like
tell
it's a-
jokes on the road. That's what I
so
do.
go see Trevor. What's your website?
Trevor Noah. Do people go to websites anymore?
Absolutely,
I'm on
sure.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Trevor
fuck with him
Noah
on Twitter.
Yeah.
At Trevor Noah.
Yes, at Trevor Noah.
Can you say in Zulu or Swazi? You're fucking.
I don't
with the
speak
champs?
Swazi.
Okay, so
I speak Zulu, Xhosa,
can you
Tswana.
say you're fucking with the champs in different African languages?
Well, the word fuck
Fucking.
doesn't exist.
Oh, okay,
That's,
you're messing
having
with the
sex
champs.
with.
You are involved with the champs.
Let me think.
Take us out with just one great. You are
And
now
if you could
involved
put
with
a
the
click
champs.
in it.
We would appreciate
You
it.
want
Or
to- you
if
definitely
can
want
either
to-
put a click
We want the
or
click.
a clack.
We got to get the click.
Okay.
Fuck with the champs.
Let's try something. Ningazosicela ngoba sendlala namachamp.